Hi, Room 12. This week's book is called Stinky Jack and the Beanstalk, a story about keeping clean. Ooh. Do you think Jack does look a little bit dirty there? And what's all these flying around his head? Reminds me a little bit of the cows in the summer. Let's have a little read. This book belongs to Mrs. Godwin. Stinky Jack and the Beanstalk. Written by Steve Smallman. Illustrated by Neil Price. So illustrated means the pictures are drawn by Neil Price. Oh, what do you think about Jack's mum here? How do you think she's feeling? Once upon a time, there was a poor young boy called Jack. He lived with his mum in a tumble-down house in the country. Jack was so lazy he couldn't be bothered to wash. He began to smell so bad that his mum made him sleep in the cowshed. Daisy the cow was not impressed. Ew! One day, Jack's mum said, "We've got no money left. Go and sell Daisy and make sure you get a good price for her." But Jack sold the cow for just a handful of beans. His mum was so cross that she threw them out the window. Overnight, the beans grew into a huge beanstalk. The next day, Mum sent Jack up the beanstalk to pick some beans. That would be healthy eating, wouldn't it? Jack climbed higher and higher until he came to a giant's castle. Jack was hungry, so he knocked on the door and asked a kind-looking lady for some food. She let Jack in and gave him a slice of sausage. But then, boom, 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 huge footsteps were heading their way. "Hide before my husband comes," said the lady. So Jack climbed into a teapot. an empty teapot. "Fee, fi, fo, fum, I smell the pong of an Englishman. Be he alive or be he dead, I wish he was somewhere else instead," roared the giant. "Nonsense," said his wife. "I can't smell anything. Eat your sausages." After lunch, the giant started counting his money. Jack had never seen so many gold coins. Soon the giant fell asleep. Jack crept out and picked up a gold coin that had fallen on the floor. He hurried back down the beanstalk and gave it to his mum. "Good boy," she gasped. "This will pay to mend our house." "Now, please, Jack, have a bath." But Jack shot back up the beanstalk. Back at the castle, the giant's wife let Jack back in, but then, "Fee, fi, fo, fum, I smell the pong of an Englishman. Be he alive or be he dead, I wish he were somewhere else instead," roared the giant. "Nonsense," said his wife. "It must be a blocked drain now. Eat your sausages." After supper, the giant fetched a little goose and popped it on the table. "Lay, goose, lay," he cried. Honk, plop, thud. The goose laid a solid gold egg. The giant soon fell asleep. Jack quickly pinched the golden egg and climbed back down the beanstalk. Jack used the egg to buy back Daisy the cow. But he still wouldn't bath. Oh, stinky. "You're not coming in my lovely house until you're clean," said Jack's mum. Daisy wouldn't let him in the cowshed either. So Jack had to sleep outside on a pile of leaves. The next day, stiff and achy, Jack climbed back up the beanstalk. Jack had not sneaked back into the castle. Oh, Jack had just sneaked back into the castle when... Fee, fi, fo, fum, I smell the pong of an Englishman. Be he alive or be he dead, I wish he was somewhere else instead, roared the giant. Nonsense, my dear, said his wife. Perhaps you've trodden in something. No, eat your sausages. That evening the giant fell asleep, listening to a magical singing harp. When Jack jumped out of his hiding place, the harp shouted, "Pooh! What a pong!" and woke up the giant. The giant grabbed Jack in his huge hairy fist. "Please don't eat me," cried Jack. "I don't want to eat you," gasped the giant. "I like having visitors, but only ones who don't stink. Have a bath now." Jack ran to the bathroom. The giant's wife filled a tub with hot soapy water, and at last Jack had a bath. He even washed his hair. He felt wonderful and he smelled delightful. Jack enjoyed himself and decided that washing was fun. The giant invited Jack to stay for supper. "I'm sorry I took your gold," said Jack. "I gave it to my mum to fix our house and buy back our cow." "That's okay," said the giant kindly. "Now eat your sausage." "Do you have sausages for every meal?" asked Jack. "Yes," sighed the giant. "I'd give a big bag of gold for some fresh vegetables." "Really?" said Jack. Do you like beans?" So Jack's going to give the giant some beans off his stalk. Okay, on here we've got some ideas that you might want to have a look at. Just leave that there, and you can always pause the video to have a little look. And that was the end of the book. On the back pages we've got the blurb. We usually read this before we start reading the book, and it gives us a little bit of information. Jack never washes, so he really pongs. How will Jack escape the giant when he smells so bad? Learn the importance of being clean with this hilarious story all about Stinky Jack. Fantastic. Well, I hope you've enjoyed our book, Stinky Jack and the Beanstalk. See you soon, Room 12.